Well, hello. Being a successful woman in parasport, it wasn't my original plan. My teenage life was a typical one. I went to school, had lots of parties. I was pretty normal, and I loved sport. I used to practice volleyball. Number 9, it's me. It was me. And then, at the age of 18 years old, I didn't know at that time that what we call destiny, it was there waiting for me. So one night, while I was coming back from a party with my brother, we had a scooter accident. And when I wake up, my left leg had gone, blackout. I was so confused. I was almost desperate. I was asking to me, why me? Why it happened to me? And in the hospital, my parents, my friends, they were all visiting me every day. So I can clearly remember that feeling to be loved. And one day, finally, something made a click inside me. I realized how lucky I was to be alive. My brain was still working, so I could do whatever I wanted with my brain. And all I wanted was my life back. That's easy. So I have a theory. Just follow me. I call it the whole theory. Try to visualize an image of a meteorite that suddenly crashed into a land. It's a big issue to solve. Nobody knows why it came and why right there. But then, what remained? A big hole, a crater. So I think that metaphorically, the meteorite is the pain that creates a big hole in our inner self. And then, when the pain goes away, and obviously it's not something that happens overnight, well, then we have a great opportunity to fill that space that was created inside us. So I decided to fill it with love and life. And I came back to my normal life, and everything was pretty new to me. Going to school, being observed by anyone because of me, because I was different. And at least after 4 months, I got my first prosthetic leg, so my hands were free from crunches. And I used to go to the swimming pool for the rehabilitation, but I couldn't play volleyball anymore. And that was so tough for me. It was really, really tough for me. So I was looking for a sport that made me sweat as much as volleyball did. And one day, I was at the prosthetic center in Budrio, that's close to Bologna in Italy, where I come from. And I was there walking around, and I saw pictures on the walls of athletes with strange legs. Pictures like that. I got a flash from this picture, a flash inspiration from this picture. And I thought, well, maybe I can try this strange blade. Maybe I can also do this. And in a few months, I got the chance to have my first running leg. I decided to compete, but just for fun. And now I can say that sport was the key to free me from the shame of wearing a prosthetic leg. That's the power of the sport. And in a few years, I got my first big competition on a great screen. It was the Paralympic Games in London 2012. And, oh, I got this. Yeah. That was my first great achievement, and everybody wanted to celebrate it with me. That was my baby, and I was so proud of it. And I became a star, a bionic star. Yes, so thanks to that medal, I got a great sponsor from the company that produces prosthetic leg, and they gave me this knee. That's the most expensive and high-tech knee in the world. So I was really, really happy for this because I could come back to do many activities, like walking around, going into the water, skating. I became to travel further and further. Like here, for example, I was in Kenya with the Fondazione Fontana, helping those people and giving them some hope. Then I found love, I found myself, adventures. I couldn't stop. I just found a new life. And in a few years later, this is my second Paralympic Games. It was Rio 2016. There, I had the honor to be the flag bearer of the Paralympic team of Italy. And I have a story into a story to tell you, because you see that girl that is hugging me on the ground. She's Monica, and in 2012, she lost her leg, and she was at the hospital. In the hospital, she saw my competition of London 2012, and she decided to join me. So after 4 years, there she was. And so I won in the long jump a silver medal, and in 100 meters, the gold medal with her on the third. And that was so great. I was so happy to have inspired her. And I decided at that point to use my name for something bigger, to share a bigger message. So I became ambassador of the Para-Astronaut Feasibility Project that allows para-astronauts going into space. But it's not about tourism in the space for people with disability. No, 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 no. It's about let well-prepared engineers with 4 types of disability to go into space. And I think that this is a great example of integration. I think that diversity is enrichment, so we all should face life like this. Like Bruce Lee said, be water. Be able to transform yourself. And I was so happy to be part of this project. So when the pandemic arrived, we all were forced to think about this, to be water, to think that we had to reinvent ourselves. We were forced to think about our priorities in life. And I tried to deal with the pandemic, with the emergency, with the same spirit. That spirit to smile at little joys. And in that period, my big goal was postponed. That was Tokyo 2020. It was postponed of 1 year. And in addition, in 2019, a great competitor came. She was young, Italian. Now she's in my team. Her name is Ambra. And she immediately, well, after the lockdown, took away my world record in 100 meters. Well, actually, I was looking for this kind of new motivation since many years. So when she arrived, it was really a great incentive for me to do better. And finally, in the end of August of 2021, the Paralympic Games of Tokyo 2020 took place there in Japan. The stadium, it was empty. The bleachers was empty, and they resounded like if they were full of ghosts. It was incredible. It was so crazy, so strange. And there we all were the symbol of the world that was trying to rise again and come back after a long stop. So my first competition there was the long jump, and I won another silver medal. but that one was kind of a bitter one. I wasn't so satisfied of this competition because I couldn't jump according to my possibility. And then, ladies and gentlemen, something magic happened. We overcame the obvious. Watch this.
Women's 100-metre T63 final is moments away. Racing this time, very good even start. Great start from Tirafini of Indonesia in the middle of the track. She explodes out of the blocks, but here come the three Italians. It might be Sabatini on the outside. It will be the youngest of the three Italians. Sabatini will take the gold medal. Caironi the silver, and it will be Contraffato of Italy. Italy go 1, 2 and 3 in the women's T63 final. It is a trifecta for the Italians. And a new world record of 14.11 for Amber Sabatini, the 19-year-old on debut. That is a wonderful moment for the Italians. A new champion, a new world record, and the domination of Europe. Wow.
We haven't had a 1, 2, 3 for one nation here. This is a record and a record.
What a start, though, from Charisma Evie Tirani. And now the Italians, they can't believe it.
We made the podium. Ambra first, me second, Monica third. It was so great. And I had to give my crown to little Ambra. And my silver medal, it was more than a silver medal. I realized that then we were three. We can share a bigger message, a huge message. Together, there we sang volare, whoa, cantare, whoa, nel blu, dipinto di blu. Felice di stare lassù. So now we can communicate to the new generation, for example, that competition and friendship can coexist. We can tell everybody that sport is the healthier way to meet our limit and overcome them. And this picture, look this picture, you know what? It replaced the big one that flashed me years ago. So the same place, now there are our picture there. Now it's time for this picture to inspire more and more people. And now, well, I can go, it's finished. Oh, no, 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 no. What do you think after all these adventures? That I get retired and watch competition on TV? No, not yet. Well, after coming back from Tokyo, I became the member of the Athletes Council of the International Paralympic Committee, and I had the chance to be the torch bearer in Beijing 2022. It was a gift for my long career, and in that moment, I could feel the energy of the flame going through my soul, passing through me, and I felt like an ancestry energy, and I couldn't help to cry. I was really, really happy in that moment. And at the end, a last update for you. A few weeks ago, I set 2 new world records. Yes. That's incredible. I couldn't believe it. I'm 32 years old. And I set one new world record in 100 meters with the time of 14:02. So we are very close to the barrier of the 14 seconds. And in the long jump with 5 meters and 46 centimeters. So I think that if we are trying to be the best version of ourselves, all the pain that we have been through, all the efforts that we did, and all the passion that we also have had in life, well, sooner or later, they will pay you back, I'm sure. Thank you.